minus 8 or 9%.
I just kind of hope it's the up first. Just because that's
the way you're positioned right now.
Right.
Yeah. Let's get to the chart master. We're talking about levels, so why not? Carter Braxton Worth is here to tell us where the charts tell him the S&P 500 is heading next. Carter, I know you've been listening to our conversation intently. What do you think?
Yeah, you're citing key levels, of course, 3,400 being the pre-pandemic high. But before we look at the charts, I think the question is, are we oversold? And any oscillator one might use, the answer would be yes. But then consider this. If anything, the stock currency commodity index hasn't gone lower in 3.5 months. Could it be oversold? By definition, no. We're the same level we were on June 16th. So if we've not gone lower in 3.5 months, by definition, we really aren't oversold. My hunch is we break and it's pretty sharp. Let's look at some charts. The first is just the here and now S&P. I've circled the lows. Everyone's staring at it. Does it put in a double bottom and bounce? Or does it crack? I'm in the crack camp. We're right at those lows. And here's the tell. It's not the S&P, it's the constituents. 58% of the constituents themselves are already below their June 16th low. And in fact, consider this. If you look at the median performance of all stocks since June, the median stock is already down 2.7% from its June low. The index is masking what's going on underneath the surface. Look at the next chart. It's longer term. Several of you referred to the 3,400 level. That's the pre-pandemic level. And even Tim said maybe that was inflated. So the MSCI All Country World Index has already gone down to its pre-COVID high. I think the S&P follows suit. So you're looking at 7% from here. And at that point, we'd be down about 30 from the peak. Look at the same chart another way, head and shoulders. Look at it another way, a big inverted cup and handle. And so it doesn't matter how you draw the lines. And the question is, could we go a lot lower? The final chart, you'll see it here next, looks at the 09 low to where we are now. We have been ascending in this perfect channel for the better part of 15 years. And we're just now to the midpoint. We're breaking into the lower band. How far we sink into the lower band is the question. Were we to get all the way to the bottom of that lower band, that is also a number that you just heard. Tim referenced 3,000. That's about where that comes into play.
3,000 is the lower band. So with the damage, if that were the scenario that we're playing out, Carter, then would most of the damage be done in the mega cap portion of the market?
Well, typically what happens in a real wipeout, there are two areas that get hit the worst, and think about why. The things that have done the worst, that have been going down all along, people literally abandon them. Like, what am I doing in this thing? This is terrible. And then the exact opposite, things that have held up very, very well. People say, I should get out of this, I gotta save my money. And so it's a barbell. The holdouts succumb and drop aggressively, and those that were always lagging really sink deep value that gets even cheaper.
Hey, Carter, it's Tim. How about the ultra leadership? I often refer to the semis, and if you look at that relative chart to the S&P, again, we're at some really critical levels for where we've been for the last 5 years. Getting that market leadership now, has it broken through?
Yes, so the semis, of course, the SOX index is below its June low, so the transports, so the industrials. So the question is, semis have led almost every turn, even in 09, even in 07 on the way down. The semis start to stabilize. That'll be a key thing to look for. I don't see that yet. Look at something like Intel. It's just in free fall.
So what are the relative safety areas, Carter? Are there any?
That's, so the playbook, day one in business school or page one of your first manual to your first job from your first boss, you hide in utilities and staples and healthcare and
They're expensive.
But there are a few things like Apple that might be holding up better than others.
Oh, so you're going to stick with Apple then? All right.
Thanks.
Carter, thank you. Carter Worth. Pick your safety play. Pick your safety play.
Is that what we're doing? Picking a safety
New game. New game. Do we have a graphic for this?
It's not a game. We don't need a graphic. I'm just asking.